I'm John Lovato Jr., and I'm part of a community of passionate firefighters who take ownership. We don't sit around waiting for experience, and we don't rely on our department for professional development. You see, we understand that the more we invest in ourselves, the better off our career and our lives are going to be. Because we are influencing people as opposed to forcing them, people who have never been taught the benefits of being into the job, we have to do things differently. We know what works because it's been modeled by great firefighters before us. It's just not understood by all, so we have to put ourselves out there to be judged. Put yourself out there, ignore the naysayers. They tell you you're doing the impossible, yet it works. Being in the job is actually what builds morale and performance. We are culture changers. We are bringing back the senior man culture. We are Brotherhood Coaching. Hello, Brotherhood Coaching. How's everyone doing this week? This week's episode is going to be all about how to reach the goals that you set up for yourself. And because we all want to be successful, but I always see a lot of people tend to struggle. They know what they want, maybe, but it's the fact of going from A to B, actually achieving it, that seems to be a struggle. So this episode is going to be all about trying to achieve that. So what I did is I broke this down into 3 steps. The first step is going to be you have to figure out what do you actually want, right? So step number 1 is what do you want? I've made it a good habit of mine. I write things down. I write them down when I do stuff at home. I also have the company officer logbook that I created that I actually use at the station, and I write what I want down. I do a monthly plan down to a daily plan, and I actually email that daily plan out to the guys so everyone knows what to expect. Because what I've learned is when you actually write stuff down, they're more likely to happen as opposed to just keep them up in our head. You know, our brains are made to come up with ideas, not to store them. That's why we invented writing stuff down, and computers are a great example too. We can put information in. So step number 1 is going to be what do you want? What do you want to achieve? So for this example, let's say a promotional exam, right? Because as we all know, with our job, that's probably one of the most challenging things to prepare for and actually do, depending on your department. You know, my department, the way we've done it is, it's an ounce of test. You got 2 to 3 months to study, and here's your material. Get it accomplished, and whoever scores the highest gets promoted. There's other systems out there, but I'm going to use this for example because this is something I've taken 3 promotional exams, and I know it pretty well. So what do you want? You want to get promoted, right? So that's an outcome. You got your outcome, and that's it, get promoted. So that's great. But that's a far distance away. It's a goal that you can't exactly see it, you can't touch it yet. So step number 2 is how you're going to get there. All right, that's going to talk about your baby steps with it. So step 2 is going to be how. How am I actually going to get promoted? Well, I'll use my department for example. Is it all comes down to studying, putting in the work, and preparing. So for us, it'll be a written exam and an assessment center. So I can tell you what I did with it. It was a year prior, I started preparing. A year before I knew there was going to be some openings, I went to this company and I watched their videos to prepare for the assessment center and to get me acclimated. And so ours is split into 2 of the hows. We have a written and an assessment. So I started a year out, I started reviewing these videos. About 2 to 3 months before the exam, written came out. Okay, so how am I going to get it? I got to study. So we had 3 books. 3 books to read. I broke those books down. I figured out how many pages I had to read in each one. And just for mathematical purposes, let's say it was 900 pages total. I think it was just over 1,000 pages between all 3 books. So those 3 books became 900 pages. I broke those 900 pages down into how many pages do I have to read each day for me to get all these books done in 2 months, and then spend the last month just reviewing. You know, I made questions with it, and then I just reviewed it. So I even broke that down even more to how many I had to read a day. And I can't remember the exact number with it. Let's say I had to read 50 pages a day, just for math here. So each day, I broke it down on how I was going to do it. I had to read 50 pages a day in order to consume all of it within 2 months, and then I could just review. So you saw how, to get promoted, I created a system of breaking the written books down and what I had to read, and then my whole goal was to spend the last month just reviewing questions that I made in the book and reviewing some of the assessment scenarios with the coach and with guys at work I would do it with. So I had my plan, all right? And now comes step 3. Step 3 is do the work. All right. At the end of the day, with anything being successful, the only thing that separates us is the people that actually do the work, put the actual work in. It seems like everyone knows what to do, but very few actually do it. So that's going to be the easiest to say, do the work, and hardest to actually implement, because what? We have distractions. We have life that happens. You get pulled in different directions. Oh, maybe I only read 30 pages a day. I only read 20. If you want to get it done, you got to be ruthlessly committed to this. You only get what you want when you're ruthlessly committed to it. Not half in, half out. Be committed. So, got those books done, read the pages, put in the work, and this way, actually, by me, I did not, for the first 2 exams that I took, I did not do the kind of work that I just talked about here, breaking it down. I did for the 3rd one, and I ended up getting number 1. That was the highest I've ever scored on a promotional exam, and it all came down with I did the work. You know, there were no chief points, preference points, and whatever. It was your final score. And, you know, a lot of guys sit back and they get a little adversity or a little things don't go their way. And I'm here to tell you that if you're not getting what you want, it's because you haven't done the work, and you're going to have to do more. You're going to have to put some more work in. Maybe some places might have some chief points with it. You might have to do some more work. If you're not building that crew that you want, you got to do more work. You know, I do feedback with, stuff at home, the way people are acting towards me. Maybe I got to be a better husband to my wife if I want different results. Maybe I got to be a better father to my kids. Maybe I got to be a better company officer to my crew to keep them happy and engaged. But it's constantly evolving, and a lot of times we think we've done enough. And most of the time, guys, what you think is enough is not enough to get it done. So take this to heart with it. Understand that when you do enough, you're going to get that goal. So do the work. All it is setting aside that time. I try to get the most important things I want to get done right away, and that's why I got the logbook for it. I write my top 3 things I want done. My crew knows once we get those done, it's pretty easy sailing after that. I just want to make sure we get the most important items done at the beginning of the day, because we all know how those time distractions can happen, pull us in different directions. Next thing you know, we got nothing done unless we prioritize right. So if you guys need a little help with that, I do have that officer logbook. The link for it will be attached to this video. I do have that, and it's designed to keep those notes throughout the day, write down what you did, what you want to get done, and I found it helpful with mine, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback from other people that have been using it, and they also have been, it's helped out a little bit. And the bonus part is, the more you put in it, it's also a keepsake. I made it a hardcover so you can put it on your bookshelf later, and years to come you can look back on it. So hope you guys got something out of this. Everyone wants to be a fireman until it's time to do fireman things sometimes. There's a nice quote out there. It was a picture of, I think, a Baltimore City fireman, and his flames were blowing out the door, and he's got the K-12, and he's cutting it, and it's just everyone wants to be a truckie until it's time to do truckie things, right? So it's all about putting in the work, and that's when you're going to get the results that you want and the success that you so desire so much. So once again, hope you guys got something out of it. Do me a favor, share this on up with other people that might get a little bit insight with it. And as always, I will see you guys next week, and you have a good one.